Hello and welcome back to Houseofastralis. My name is Kayla and I will be your cosmic guide as we read into the new moon in Libra happening on October 21st, Pacific time at least. As this is a general reading, please be at peace with anything that does not fit and leave the rest behind. I trust that you will receive the messages you need of your highest and best good, regardless of when you view this. Of course, to start us off, I do have this new moon in Libra reading from Writual Workbooks. The new moon in Libra arrives on October 21st, drawing us into connection, reflection, and renewal. Libra is a sign of balance, not just peaceful, but the tension of two forces meeting in the middle. Under this lunation, we're invited to reset our relationship with relationships, whether love, collaboration, friendship, or self-worth. This new moon asks, what am I bringing to the table, and what am I receiving? This is a potent reminder to examine our connections, not just emotionally, but energetically and systemically. Libra does not just want harmony, it wants justice. This new moon is supported by a rare alignment, a trine between Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus retrograde in Gemini, with both planets forming a sextile to Neptune retrograde in Aries. This new moon is supported by a rare alignment, a trine between Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus retrograde in Gemini, with both planets forming a sextile to Neptune retrograde in Aries. These airy electric aspects help us break through outdated mental patterns, liberate from karmic entanglements, and reimagine balanced connections. New moons are quiet invitations to begin again. This one offers a clean slate in how we relate to others and to ourselves through the mirror of relationship. If your boundaries have been bending from fear, guilt, or perfectionism, this lunation calls you back to center. Make space for relationships that feel fair, reciprocal, and rooted in truth. Libra is a cardinal air ruled by Venus. It initiates through connection, craving symmetry, fairness, beauty. But don't mistake Libra's charm for passivity. This sign knows how to weigh every side before deciding where it stands. Under this new moon, we're gifted that same clarity if we're willing to face what's been off balance. Libra energy brings refinement to chaos. It smooths sharp edges and invites grace into difficult conversations. You might feel urged to beautify your space, restore fractured connections, and reconnect with art, music, or writing. Creative rituals and collaborative work are especially blessed now. In tarot, Libra is justice, a reminder that every choice has its ripples, every relationship is reflection. Justice holds sword and scales, cutting through illusion to seek truth beneath. Under this new moon, that might mean facing uncomfortable realities and how you give and receive love, navigate conflict, or how your internal narrative shapes your outer world. I did do a pre-shuffle of the cards as well, and I just kept remembering about the last few readings I've done. Relationship has been a really big theme that keeps coming up, and I just kept feeling the need to pull in pairs, so you'll see. So lots of cards tonight, but yeah, this is a time to really reevaluate relationships and how they cultivate balance, and if it's time to cut the cords or not. Before we get into the tarot, I have some cards for us and a new deck, which I'm excited to showcase. So these two are the intuition cards. How can you work on your intuition during this cycle, this month, however you want to view it? And we've got number 2. Oh, the pair. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alert intuition growth spurt. Alert intuition growth spurt. You are currently experiencing a general increase in your intuitive ability or gaining access to a new psychic pathway. Just like physical growth spurts you experienced in childhood, an intuition growth spurt may seem awkward or uncomfortable at first, but you'll soon adjust. Sensitivity exists on a spectrum, and yours has shifted. And we are in the veil during this time in the Libra new moon. So that's good to hear. Good job. And then number 19, notice intuitive thoughts, downloads, and epiphanies. Claircognizance, the intellectual psychic pathway, is trying to break through the noise in your noggin. Instead of analyzing, notice insightful thoughts appearing fully formed in your mind, out of the box epiphanies, large and layered chunks of wisdom arriving instantly like a computer download, and aha realizations. A calm, still mind creates more room for guidance. Love to hear it, love to see it. So keep an eye out. If you've been listening to me for maybe even just a little bit, I have talked about keeping your intuitive hits and synchronicities and all of that stuff in a journal so that you can go back to it. And this is part of that too. You notice a lot of these things and just write it down, put it in your journal or your notes so that you could come back and follow these synchronicities in the future. And this is part of my new deck. It is the Fortune Teller Oracle, and I felt called to do two. First one, oh my god. How? Okay, this one I saw 3 times while shuffling. And I was keeping my eye on it to see if it would come out for this, and it did. A sacred ritual will bring you clarity and insight. And a veil of mystery surrounds you. Embrace the enchantment. And I did ask for some extra guidance on the tarot that will be pulled for this. So these might be themes that come up. These might be just a general guidance or what to look out for during this time. We've got 5 guardians. Sorry for the glare. And number 21, aftermath. Ooh, okay. So the aftermath of something. Maybe it's the aftermath of having those difficult conversations, and aftermath of really getting clear with yourself and what you need to let go and what isn't serving you any longer. First question, where in your life or relationships are you being called to restore balance? This is the King of Cups. And firstly, a couple things here. There's the intuitive aspect. The king is the master of his emotions, of the water, of intuition. And so with your growth spurt here in your intuition, it's needing to restore some balance to that so you're not aloof all the time, and then you're also not looking for it in every single thing that you do. So there needs to be some healthy boundaries regarding that aspect. But also, if you are maybe like a leader or in charge of something, someone, head of a family unit in some way, I think that is the type of relationship that is being called to restore balance. If you are the one that people go to for all their problems, or you have to lead and father people in a way, and obviously that's gendered, but it's also a role. So if you're playing the role of this king, of someone who has to be emotionally fulfilling to other people, maybe see where you can look within yourself to bring some balance as well. Because if you're always focused on the external and not the internal, that's definitely going to be out of balance, and you can't continue to help people if your internal world also isn't up to par. What truth are you being asked to face to bring clarity and harmony? I don't know if I can show this. I assume I can. It's not too bad. But the truth you are being asked to face to bring clarity and harmony is that there's adventure in life. You're not stuck to one role or one type of living. You can go out and see what's out there. There's so much out there for you to explore, and you can't keep yourself small. So I would say travel, even just a little something, get your toes wet in travel and see where you can expand your horizons, either literally or metaphorically. What outdated patterns or karmic ties are you ready to release and create healthier dynamics? With this card, it's the need to always defend and guard always on the run, maybe literally always running to protect someone or something. And sometimes it's if someone has a negative comment about something, you don't always have to say something back. You don't always have to defend yourself that way. You can just honestly let it go and not even say anything about it. Don't respond, don't give them the satisfaction of that, so that they can't keep coming back to you, and then the cycle continues. Because the aftermath of situations like that, of being in a conflict with someone, probably isn't pretty, probably isn't the best feeling in general. So yeah, I would just say stop being so protective of things that maybe aren't worth it or worth the energy to keep defending, because it doesn't even matter if someone has something to say about it. If you are content and secure, I think that's what matters the most. You don't have to show everybody how secure you are, you know? How can you strengthen connections that are rooted in fairness and mutual respect? I think just giving recognition where it's due, giving kind and helpful words to each other, if even words of affirmation or validation, I think this is going to be important. This is mutual respect, and it's more than having to give someone a compliment because they gave you a compliment. It's maybe even going out of your way to say, hey, thank you for talking to me on the phone. Hey, thank you for being there for me. And I think even owning up to situations that you might have not done in the past, like in the sense of conflict. Maybe you wouldn't have apologized or brought something up because it could cause conflict and you were worried about it. But I had a situation where a friend reached out to me and had said, hey, when we were talking the other day, I did this action and I'm so sorry about it. I'll work to do better. And in that moment, I didn't even realize they did this, and it wouldn't have mattered. To me, it was not a big deal, but for them to own up to it or talk about it and apologize, even though they didn't know how I felt about it, I think that really takes some mutual respect for sure. It takes integrity to own up to something, even if you feel like it might cause conflict. But if there's fairness and mutual respect, then maybe there won't even be conflict in the first place. So, not being afraid of having to take responsibility when you do something wrong. And the other way around, if you want to speak up against someone, like I totally would have authority or the fairness and the right to reach out to someone if they did something to me and kind of talk about it. It doesn't have to come off so defensive or mean or so crazy in some way. It's just like, hey, when you did this, I felt this. It's so simple, but we get too caught up. So, strengthening connections, again, mutual respect and words of affirmation, praising each other whenever possible, and really telling people that they're doing a good job when they are. And if they are maybe not in the best place, then also giving them praise and the motivation to continue. What intention can you set to embody more grace, peace, and equilibrium moving forward? Well, if you don't have a meditative practice, maybe this is your invitation to start one. And meditation doesn't have to look like sitting by a tree for 4 hours and trying to clear your mind. It can be so many things that I don't even have a list of at the top of my mind. But I think just setting the intention to be more peaceful, more calm, more stillness, be in stillness more, I think that can help you embody the peace that you're looking for. And it also brings clarity to so many things if you're able just to have the self-discipline to not sit there, but meditate and just be at one with yourself, with the world around you, the earth around you, and to just breathe, take a few moments to slow down. That is what intention you can embody. Slowness, pause. Like these two are kind of doing something similar after the aftermath, after a stressful situation. It's just taking time to take a breather. And maybe if that was done beforehand, it wouldn't be so stressful. I find that if I'm already taking care of myself in many other ways and cultivating a life that's not so stressful and having the tools and resources at my disposal to handle situations, they're not as bad. I can go through the aftermath without feeling like it was a tower moment, without feeling crazy. Oh, looking at this card again, the Six of Wands with the guy and the horse, it's also not putting people on pedestals and not putting them on a high horse and you having to feel like you are beneath them for whatever reason, because that's not fair. It's not a fair dynamic to you, to them, to have that pressure in the first place. So if you can take them down a notch in whatever way that looks like for you, maybe just mentally not giving someone so much power and putting you on leveling fields, equal fields, I think that'll be helpful as well. Okay, and with the Four Swords, the pause, the moments of stillness really does help your intuition as well. And it says right here on the second card, a calm, still mind creates more room for guidance. You can't get guidance if you're too busy, kind of over here, distracted by other people and what they have to say. So that is what I have for you today regarding your new moon in Libra. I hope it's a fantastic new moon for you. I hope it's some new beginnings to really set better intentions about yourself and your relationships and how you relate to yourself. It's perfect time to bring in some harmony before the holidays, I suppose, so that your family gatherings aren't so awkward and cringe and you can really talk to each other. And if you don't talk to them or if people aren't willing to change, I think that's on them and their story. You don't have to hold on to it and try to force it. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you in advance for the comments, interaction. I do appreciate it so much, and I can't wait to read for you again next time.